Good afternoon, entrepreneurs. I'm Josh Klenoff, the host of today's interview with Nick Milne-Home, who is president of 1E. Nick is probably capable of talking about anything under the sun in the realm of leadership, but he and I spoke about scaling up as a topic that he's one, passionate about, two, incredibly successful with. So Nick, pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Josh.
Let's dive right in. Tell us a bit about you and about the world of scaling up. How have you done it?
Fantastic. Josh, firstly, I joined 1E in the summer of 2004 as employee 28 with a very simple brief, which was transform 1E into a software business. So between 2004 and 2007, we did that by basically productizing some of the scripts our consultants were writing to make their jobs easier.
What advice do you have? What wisdom can you share along this long journey you've taken and rapid journey to scaling?
For me, there are three things which you absolutely have to do. Firstly, you've got to understand your market. That is understanding the market problem which your product's solving. Why is your product different? How do you solve it? Second thing is you need to understand your own business really well. And that is really understanding all of the functional areas of the business. And the third area is really simple, which is focus. And the challenge for most entrepreneurs is they are instinctively opportunistic. But actually entrepreneurs have to stay rooted in their plan. They've got to be honest with themselves and say, I am being opportunistic and not get diverted.
You've painted a very bright picture of how the company should get to know itself, how it should get to know the marketplace, and then how it should apply this focus. Great in theory. How did you do this in practice?
So having set up at the beginning of 2008, within months of getting here, the whole financial crisis happened. And so our strategy, which was to sell 3 or 4 software products to the big organizations, very, very quickly was in jeopardy because nobody was buying anything at all. And so what we saw from the market was that our software had to save money. And so what we did was to take our smallest software product, which was very simple. It simply turned software on and off in order to get patches to take, as PCs had to be rebooted for them to take, and we repositioned this as a green IT solution for PC power management. And there's absolutely no question that actually that simple pivot in the strategy and that focus and that understanding of the market not only navigated us through the whole financial crisis, but undoubtedly saved our company.
So knowing you as I do, having been in the military, in the Army, I love the analogies and the stories you've shared. Is there any application to your past in the military and the focus you bring now to the strategy and scaling?
There's always this kind of adage about Germany lost because actually it was fighting a war on 2 fronts. If you're trying to fight a war on 2 or 3 fronts, all you're doing is to rob resources from one area and put them somewhere else. It's really hard to do as a smaller, fast-growing company. So yes, to me, the mantra is very, very simple. Fight a war on 1 front, not on 3 fronts.
And now, on a more personal note, your 3-part analysis compels a very clear path forward once the CEO's done his or her work. But I was once in a room with 50 CEOs, and Marshall Goldsmith, who's the CEO coach to the head of Saudi Aramco and Ford and Pfizer, big companies. And we put a question to the group, which was, what's one thing no one knows about you? And secretly on a piece of paper, they wrote their answers. We collated them. The number one answer, by far, was we don't know where we're going. Now, they can't announce this because this existential confusion and threat would, of course, strike the fear of God into 50,000 or 10,000 employees of theirs. But when you craft your strategy, where do you get the confidence and the resolve to stick with it? Unless the answer, of course, is you don't know it.
Oh my God, but that is so true. The answer's obvious, which is data. And the data can be hard data, your own numbers, industry numbers, analyst numbers, or it can be soft data, which is just talking anecdotal, getting a feel. But actually, that's the way I stay focused, is to gather whatever data I can, make a decision based on it, keep close to that data and constantly go back and check it to make sure that you are absolutely on track. But yeah, data.
Fantastic. What a pleasure to have had your time today.
Josh, thank you so much. Thank you.